DRL.
You're ready to fly.
The Drone Racing League. Tonight, the season points battles are heating up.
Let's go. Wheel.
In the tightest racing in DRL history.
There it is.
Real-life drone racing is a game of inches.
Let's go, baby.
But here in the sim, it's millimeters. This is drone racing.
Woo!
This is DRL. Welcome to the 2021 DRL World Championship, the premier international drone racing circuit. This is Level 11, Biosphere, the third sim event of our hybrid season. DRL is the only sport where the champion must dominate in both real life and virtual racing.
Replicating the ability to do well level after level and earn that spot on the season podium is a really big deal to me.
Taking the lead in the season is definitely a huge motivator. More than anything, it's a wake-up call that I need to work harder than ever because now that target is back on my back and all of those pilots want to catch me more than ever.
I have to get more aggressive. I can't be as conservative on certain lines that I'm not comfortable with. I'm going to have to push everything I have, like the DRL hashtag, push all limits, and that's exactly what I got to do.
Hello, everybody. Alongside my partner, drone racing pilot Tony Niddle, I'm Craig Hummer. TK, in light of the points battles and the incredibly small margin of victory in these heats, the pilots, they're feeling the pressure, and I think therefore practicing harder than they ever have before.
You know, as a pilot, mistakes at this point of the season affect you more. In the beginning of the year, it's a blank slate. You have more opportunities to make up for those mistakes. Well, those opportunities are just simply running out.
The 2021 season consists of 14 levels of racing, 9 IRL and 5 virtual races on the DRL simulator. The pilots earn season points based on their overall level finish. The pilot with the most points after 14 levels is the 2021 DRL World Champion. Here are the season standings after 10 levels of racing. Defending world champion Heads Up is back on top in the 4th lead change this season, now 9 points ahead of Vanover, the 2019 world champ. Alex FPV sits in 3rd with 39, just 7 points in front of Amari. All 12 pilots race each level. They're seeded into 2 semifinal groups, with the top 3 from each advancing to the finals. There, the winner of the Golden Heat will be your level champion. Each heat is 2 laps around this Biosphere track. TK, take us through it.
Off the start, pilots launch up to the pyramid and square gates, around the T-Mobile Tower, into the Allianz Vortex. They go through the T-Mobile Tunnel and handrail gate before a U-turn at the Pentagate. Then it's up to the Dragonfly Gate and through the chicane into the Split S at the Algorand gates. They head through the Diamond Gate, up and around the tower, and down to the field gates, where they start lap 2 or head to the finish.
The track is another great one. It's a lot of cool turns, a lot of nice obstacles that we haven't seen before. And if we're going to see any zero to hero moves, it's definitely going to be in the Split S gate.
I think where the Biosphere track will be won or lost is the Allianz Vortex. Coming into that is definitely a medium blind turn.
I have a feeling that other pilots are going to be concentrated too much on the Vortex or on the Split S gate and not enough on just perfecting the long, smooth lines.
Here in the semifinals, they fly 3 regular heats, with each heat winner automatically advancing to the finals. Everyone else is subject to sudden death, where only the winner is guaranteed to advance. The only object in semifinals is to make it to finals, and the only way to make it to finals is to win a heat. TK, if what we've seen in the past is any indication of the future, Amari and Alex FPV are likely to move on. So, who do you think is going to be the 3rd pilot?
Well, anything can happen in drone racing, but I think that 3rd spot is between Nub and Manny. When Nub is on, he really is on. But watching Manny practice this morning and talking to him, he's exuding the confidence to move on. And I think he's going to do it.
Semifinal 1, Heat 1. Let's look at that lineup and the colors they'll fly. Amari in Iowa flies white Alex FPV, the first of our 2 pilots in Tennessee, flies blue. Nub, also in Tennessee, flies purple. Manny himself, the Algorand 13th pilot, flies green. Miwo in California, dark blue. And Gab 707 in Vancouver, yellow. Semi-final 1, Heat 1. Breaking down the biosphere begins now. They all rush to the pyramid gate, then it's a turn down through the square gate. It's a right turn around the T-Mobile Tower. That drop that they talked about through the Allianz Vortex leads to the T-Mobile Tunnel. Sharp left, you've got Nub and Purple in the lead.
Big confidence booster for Nub to get that lead and hold on to it. This is what he needs, clean air and no distractions.
On the other side of the biosphere, it's the chicane. That's going to lead to the simple gate, then the Algorand stacked gate. That's another one that they've all talked about. You've got Alex FPV now in blue, Amari in white, 1-2.
Huge slowdown from Nub, and Alex just took advantage of that, screaming ahead of the pack. Great job for him to hold on.
On to lap number 2 through that pyramid gate again. You've got Alex in blue, Nub in purple, and Amari in white fighting for second. That drop through the Allianz Vortex leads to the T-Mobile Tunnel. Now they'll go through the handrail gate and drop down and make it through the Allianz Pentagate. The Dragonfly gate is next.
Craig, going into the second lap, that battery's going to slow down quite a bit. Watch for some mistakes from some of these pilots. They're going to get harder for them to pull out of these maneuvers.
Well, Alex in blue is starting to make a big distance between himself and now Gab 707 in yellow in second.
Oh, look at Alex,
and
though,
there
surging.
it is. Alex is going to take the first heat.
Let's go, baby!
What? Oh, man.
Oh, man. Good run, Alex. Good
First run, man.
Let's welcome
Amari,
in
your
the
drum was
third
on the
member of our
ground.
team, Layla Anna Lee.
Yeah, you were like, you crashed and like, I saw you.
First heat, and it appeared to be a perfectly clean run. Did that go perfectly to plan for you, Alex?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to be honest with you, Layla. We've talked about this a lot. I've said the first one's the worst one, and I've said this time after time again. But the first one for me is good. And it's one of the hardest things ever to just make it to that finish gate. So to have a run as good as like that starting out makes me feel really good. You know, we're getting all the pressure off our back, just like we saw last week in Kingdom. Let's not forget that. So, yeah, we're just going to go out there and have some fun. Hope to get to finals and just, you know, maybe fly good there. Maybe we don't. We'll see.
I'm sure it's given you a good boost of confidence, but another thing that might be giving you some confidence here, we know that the 3 of you, Amari, Heads Up, and you, have been really very dominant throughout the sim sections and the sim levels. This group that you're in, Heads Up not being in it, how much does that serve you?
You know, it feels like we're fighting the same war, but from totally different sides. You know, we can't talk, we can't gas each other up, but we both know what we're trying to do here. And, you know, I'm just, you know, it's weird having him not in my semifinal after this because I feel like I've had Amari and Heads Up so far. And, you know, both of them are extremely hard, and it's kind of a roll of the dice which one I want to race. But, you know, Amari and Heads Up are fast, so I'm just trying to make it through at this point like everybody else. I think we're all real nervous.
We look forward to the next heat. Thank you.
Thank you.
Alex gets that coveted first win, 116.206 over 0.7 of a second ahead of Gab. Let's bring in one more member of our team, 2018 DRL World Champion, Paul Nurkla. Paul, what did you see in that first heat?
Well, Nub got out to an early start in this race, but Alex started to reel him in early on that first lap. And the big differentiator, I think, was the split S-gate. Alex took it much tighter, much quicker than everybody else, and pushed himself out front. For the rest of the race, he continued to build that lead up to the point where coming into the finish gate, he had a massive, more than a trail, like probably 2 trail lead on the rest of the pack, and was able to come into the finish for first place. That's going to set up Alex to be confident through the rest of this race.
Alex FPV's win assures he is moving on to the finals. TK, this year's hybrid season has the pilots racing both IRL and in the sim. What's the difference?
You know, the DRL Sim is the most realistic quadcopter flight simulator available, using a proprietary true-to-life physics engine. Now, the flight characteristics and the controller movements are one-to-one with real-life drones. The two biggest differences racing in the sim are no midair collisions and perfect vision. In real life, midairs often change the outcome of a heat, and the analog video feeds they use to fly are never perfect. Now this means they can fly right at the absolute limits of drone performance in the sim, where they have to leave a little margin in real life.
Alex just crafted his own invite to the big party, but 2 more invitations are still available. Heat 2 is next.
The Algorand ecosystem is where monumental change takes shape. So come transform the world with us on Algorand.
We're here at the training facility with Gotham FC, and for the very first time, we're going to have the FPV drone on the field with the players as they're training. We're hoping to get some really unique shots and something you've never seen before.
The Drone Racing League, brought to you by Algorand, the world's first blockchain designed for the future of finance. By Allianz, the global leader in asset management, investments, and insurance. And by T-Mobile, the leader in 5G, America's largest, fastest, and most reliable 5G network.
Welcome back to Level 11 Biosphere. We're just one heat into our first semifinal, and Alex FPV has already qualified for the finals. TK, as Paul talked about, Nub came out strong in that last heat, and we've all heard the stories about how hard he's been training leading up to this week.
Yeah, you know, there's a fine line between overtraining and not training enough, and I think he's right on the edge of that. And, you know, early on, I thought maybe he looked a little sleepy, looked a little tired. Well, it's because he's been up all night long training. And there comes a point where that's either going to help or hurt you. And in that case, he had a great start, but just couldn't hold on to it all the way through. We'll see if that changes here in Heat 2.
Semifinal 1, Heat 2. Life, especially for a pilot, has its ups and downs. They head through that first gate down around the square gate and the T-Mobile Tower. Next will be the Allianz Vortex. You've got Nub in purple right there with Alex in blue.
Nub has a lot of momentum coming off that start. He really knows how to get up front. It's a matter of holding on to it right now as he gets through the thick of all the rest of the drones.
The Dragonfly Gate, a lot of pilots have talked about that one as well as they drop through the chicane. That leads to the Simple Gate and the Algorand Stack Gate. It's Nub and Alex right there. Amari and White a close third.
Look, Nub's on a solid line. He's right there with Alex. He's just got to thread these gates together to close that gap, and there's part of it right there.
Yeah, he had a great turn to start lap number 2. They'll make a right turn around the T-Mobile Tower. That'll set up the drop through the Allianz Vortex, and you've got Alex in blue, Nub in purple, back to back. Amari and White in third through the handrail gate. They'll go through the Allianz Pentagate up to that Dragonfly Gate again.
Uh-oh, that turn may have been a little too low. That slowed him down.
The chicane setting up for the Algorand Split S. You've got Alex in blue, Nub in purple, Amari in white. They continue to be the top 3. They'll go around the tower one final time, drop to the field gates. It'll be a left turn to the finish. Alex is in front, and Alex is 2 for 2.
Jesus.
Come on, baby!
Nice run.
Yeah, you too.
That was
Omar,
a close one, honestly. That was super
close.
close.
It's all respect. You know it's all respect.
How did that
Always.
miss the gap?
No, but the timing on all of these sim races so far has been so tight. We've seen some races in past levels be, the difference between 1/1000th of a second. How important are these minor decisions?
They're extremely important. As you say, it comes down to thousandths of a second on this track and all of these sim levels. It can be as much as, you're preparing for a turn and your heartbeat hits your thumb at just the wrong moment, and that can throw you off a millimeter and let somebody walk away with the win. I was a little bit behind Alex on that heat, but I have a feeling that Amari only beat me because of, a millimeter of a movement.
I never even thought about the heartbeat in your thumbs, but of course that would make a difference. Another thing that makes a difference is preparation. I hear you've been almost falling asleep and waking up with the remote in your hands. How's training been for you?
It's been intense. The level of pilots that we have this year is a little bit more than we've had in previous years, and it's showing with the season points right now, and obviously the performance of all the other pilots. And trying to keep up in any way I can is all that I can do, and it seems like training as much as possible is the only way I can accomplish that.
Intense must be an understatement. Thank you.
Thank you.
Top 3 within 0.2 of a second. It's a second win for Alex FPV.
Well, drone racing is all about how precise you can be, and you're making up, these tenths of a second. And I want to kind of point out this moment here going from the simple gate to the split S gate. If you watch Alex FPV, he makes everything just a little bit tighter than everybody. You look at Amari behind, you look at Nub behind, they're not making that straight line from the previous gate into the split S gate. And he's able to pull back just little bits of time here and there to get himself up into the lead and into first place. So once he takes that lead, once he's out front, you got this perspective from everybody else just watching him go into the finish. Here's Nub's view, watching Amari just cut just ahead of him right before the finish gate on the way to the next round.
Alex tastes success for a second time, still the only winner in semifinal number 1. Manny himself was invited to join DRL mid-season, invited by Algorand to become the 13th pilot. This was a life-changing opportunity, but it did complicate another life-changing opportunity, his destination wedding in Puerto Rico.
Well, we could be in Mexico right now.
We could be.
But here we are.
We're here at home because I need a sim. We just got married in Puerto Rico where my wife grew up. There was a destination wedding with 82 people. We couldn't have asked for a better wedding. It was just a remarkable experience.
I was really stressed with wedding planning. He was really stressed with the DRL stuff. So I told him, when we go to Puerto Rico and we're gonna be there for that whole week, I don't wanna hear anything about drones, DRL, don't you mention the sim, and don't you mention Amari. But of course, he did not follow any instructions. Buddy, he's obsessed with drones. We had to postpone the honeymoon for the competition. So that's how supportive I am.
Yes.
For him to become a DRL pilot is just amazing, and I'm so proud of him.
I love her so much. I got to marry the love of my life, and I'm blessed. I love you, baby.
Level up your drone skills on the DRL Sim on PlayStation, Xbox, Steam, and Epic Games. Manny may have to shake himself out of travel mode if he wants to avoid sudden death. Heat 3 coming up. to the premier international drone racing circuit. This is DRL, the Drone Racing League.
We've teamed up with Drone Racing League to fuel 5G innovation in two fast-growing markets, drones and tech-powered sports.
T-Mobile is building the largest, fastest, most reliable 5G network in the country. And DRL is building a new sport that depends on using innovative technology to create an audience experience like no one has ever seen before.
In the past, the analog video that's come through is not very clear and not very clean. With T-Mobile 5G wireless technology, we get a crystal clear image. Now that the field test has proven to be a success, it's time to build a fleet of these drones and take them to DRL races and T-Mobile events and really show the world what this drone can do.
This is just the beginning, and I can't wait to see this 5G drone take flight.
This is DRL, the Drone Racing League. Welcome back to Level 11 Biosphere. We're 2 heats into semifinal 1, and still Alex FPV is the only pilot who has qualified for the finals. You know, TK, Amari really hasn't been in contention at the end yet. How much does that surprise you?
Quite a bit, to be honest with you. I'm shocked that he hasn't gotten at least a first so far. This is his world, right? I mean, he's shown these guys how to do this. This should be his race to win. But unfortunately, we're seeing just a little bit of a slower line from him compared to the others. He's just not tightening up that perfect, you know, flow through the track from one gate to the next and threading them together. If he does that, I think there's no question he'll take out Alex.
Semifinal 1, Heat 3. Survive and Thrive are close cousins in this realm. As they head through the pyramid gate, the square gate, and now that right turn around the T-Mobile Tower, you have Amari in white in the lead, closely followed by Manny himself in green and Miwo in dark blue.
I expected to see this, Craig. I wanted to see Amari go for it, and I knew the last chances he'd have, he was going to take all the stops out, and this is what we're looking at. Amari is on another one right now.
Through that chicane, that sets up the simple gate and the Algorand stacked gate. Amari in white is in front. You've got Nub in purple right there. Miwo in dark blue, and Manny himself fighting for third.
Look, if Nub's going to stay behind here, he's got to at least get into second place to carry that momentum into sudden death. It is crucial for him.
Everything going perfectly for your leader, Amari in white, already on lap number 2 through that vortex. That means it's the tunnel, and next up, it's the handrail gate. As they'll drop through the Allianz Penagate, you still have Amari in white leading.
Craig, Amari is just not making any mistakes. He has found the right line, and he is hitting it exactly as he should.
That Algorand stacked gate is there. Amari in white, no! With a mistake.
There goes
Nub in purple has made himself irrelevant. As they go through the tower, they drop down through the field of gates. Everything going right for Amari. He will get his win, taking Heat 3.
Me losing time on him.
Man, said it wasn't illegal, cuh.
Wow, what a
Oh, thank you, sir.
Get out of here. Oh, man.
A faultless run, Amari. Congrats, you're through to the finals there. Now tell me, at what point in that race did you know you had it?
Man, you know, I've been battling back and forth with Alex, you know, all the sim levels and including this semifinal. After the first couple turns, I heard him let out a little bit of a sigh. Then I saw his position on the leaderboard drop down a little bit. So at that point, I knew I just had to fly my own race, be as consistent as possible. And as long as I'm doing what I've been doing, I'd be able to get the win.
A brilliant race. Thank you.
Thank you.
That win for Amari in heat number 3 keeps him out of sudden death. It also means that we will only have one spot in the upcoming sudden death runoff. The tightest turn on this course is the exit from the T-Mobile Tunnel. TK, give us a closer look, presented by the U.S. Air Force.
The T-Mobile Tunnel is a narrow corridor with a sharp 90-degree turn on the exit, challenging pilots to control their speed and precision. The ideal line requires pilots to run through the tunnel on the right side, timing their turn for a late apex just past the left pillar by rolling left hard and pitching back. Turning late will cause pilots to overcorrect for the next gate, which is slower. Turning too early forces them to swing wide on the exit, increasing the distance to the next gate.
With the wins from Alex and Amari, they are out of this heat, which means 4 pilots will fight for that one spot. TK, which one is it going to be?
I gotta go with my boy Manny on this one, Craig. I'm looking at the consistency behind his times, hitting that 117 mark for each one of those heats. He's really on a solid mark throughout this track. If he can hold it together the entire way through, and the fact that he's coming into this with the momentum of that second place, in my opinion, he's got the win.
Semi-final 1, sudden death. Make room for the necessary mental fortitude as they'll head up to that pyramid gate, next the square gate, then it's the right turn around the T-Mobile Tower. You've got Nub in purple, Manny himself in green, 1-2.
Big mistake from
by Manny.
Wow,
They're
Craig,
along the
I
walkway.
can't believe it.
Yeah, unbelievable in sudden death. You talked about that momentum. Well, it is gone for Manny. He'll try to claw his way back, but that has allowed Gab 707 to see the front for the first time this semifinal.
Well,
there's your Algorand Split S. You've got Gab in yellow. He's now just in front of Miwo in blue.
Craig, Nub's gone as well. Look at Gab, the veteran, showing the rest how it's done, holding it together, maintaining that composure, and just flowing his way through this course.
Well, partner, we have seen this for 6 seasons of DRL. You make the mistakes, you pay for them. The 2 pilots who haven't made any mistakes yet, they're fighting for this one spot in the finals. As they'll head up, now it's that Dragonfly gate dropping on the other side of the biosphere. This is the chicane. You've got the Algorand stack gate one more time. You've got Gab in yellow slightly in front of Miwo in blue.
This is a great spot for Miwo. He was a second ago until he fell back even farther. Now he's losing his opportunities.
Gab to make yet another final, and it looks like he's done it. Gab 707 wins sudden death.
Oh my God!
Unexpected?
He's not anywhere near me, dude.
Wow.
Wow.
Woo! Come
Gavin,
on.
you guys run each other. That was a great race.
Now, Gab, normally sudden death is one of the most intense parts for a pilot, but not for a veteran pilot like you. You seemed very calm.
we just look calm. We're deep inside it's like a monkey going like boom, boom, boom. I could hear my heart pounding through my chest on this one.
You often talk about rhythm and music and how you use that to help you get into a harmony with flight. Do you listen to music before you race?
No, I feel music for me is something that I create, and listening to music is a different experience to me than creating the music. And so when I'm flying, you get a vibe with the track and you resonate, and it's an art form in itself, I feel. And listening to it is a different feel for me, so I need to create that myself.
Well, you created it and you're through to the golden heat. Thank you.
Thank you.
Tapping into his veteran experience, Gab 707 wins sudden death. That winning time, 118.574.
Well, yeah, Gab's got the veteran experience here. He raced here in real life, took second place at this race. He beat me out by just a hair there at that event. But what happened that was most important was Nub crashing and handing over that opportunity to Gab to continue holding onto that lead. Gab was able to get out front, hold onto that lead, and battle back and forth with Miwo. In the last part of the lap, he was able to get a little bit of a gap out against him and push forward into the lead. It was an absolute awesome performance from Gab, and he's going on to finals.
Our 3 pilots advancing out of semifinal number 1. Alex FPV, Amari, and Gab 707. Well, half our final is set. The 6 pilots in semifinal 2 are eager for their chance.
The Earth is 70% water and 30% land. But the entire sky belongs to us. Copy that. Aim high, Airman.
The Drone Racing League, brought to you by Algorand, the world's first blockchain designed for the future of finance. By Allianz, the global leader in asset management, investments, and insurance. And by Dragonfly, leaders in drone innovation. Welcome back to Level 11 Biosphere. 3 pilots have already qualified for the finals. 3 more spots are now up for grabs as we get set for semifinal number 2. TK, there were 2 pilots we thought would be a lock in semifinal 1, Alex and Amari. Well, there's only 1 pilot that looks like a sure thing here in semifinal 2. Heads up, can he be stopped?
Look, Craig, over the last 2 years, in 25 levels of formal sim competition with DRL, Heads Up has finished first or second in every single one. So, probably not. I'm just going to say it.
The question is then, who will join Heads Up coming out of this second semifinal group? Who better to turn to than 2018 DRL World Champion Paul Nurkla? Paul, who are your picks going to be?
Yeah, I mean, I heard that stat for the first time earlier tonight, and it blew my mind. But the 2 people that have given Heads Up the biggest challenge in moving on early in those rounds are the other members of the Flying V, who were in the other sudden death, or in the other heat. So we got to figure out. I don't think that Heads Up is going to have any competition. He's going to be able to take all 3 of those heats. So we're going to have to look at sudden death. And we get the 3 pilots that I'm likely to see challenging for that win in sudden death are Halo, Vanover, and the rest of them. And it's crazy to see
Sky,
what that
right?
battle is going to be. Sky, thank you. Yeah, and I am really excited to see what that battle turns into.
Look, man, anytime you have a single heat that decides who's going to move on, anything can happen. So we have to keep our eyes on Vanover. And quite frankly, can he bounce back from losing the overall season lead that he had? And that's the biggest question, is can he do it? I think he can. I know he's been practicing harder this week, and this course definitely lends itself to Vanover's flying style.
Guys, let's meet all 6 pilots in semifinal 2 and the colors they fly. We start with Heads Up. The defending DRL World Champion flies light blue. Halo Walker over in Germany flies pink. Sky Green flies out of Colorado. Vanover, who you were just talking about, 2019 DRL World Champion, he's in Texas and flies silver. Soren in Minnesota flies orange. And Fluxy, the 2019 DRL Sim Tryout winner, he's in Minnesota as well, and he flies red. Semifinal 2, Heat 1. A new 6 look to leave their imprint as they'll all head for that pyramid gate. That is the square gate, of course, the right turn around the T-Mobile Tower. The early lead for Heads Up in light blue, but Halo Walker in pink right there.
Well, you would think Halo Walker's got it, but Heads Up's not going to let that one slide as he jumps in front of him, Craig.
There's the Pentagate. They're now up to the Dragonfly Gate. That drops them on the other side of the Biosphere into the chicane. We've seen a lot of pilots have problems with just this simple maneuver because there it is, the Algorand Stack Gate. You've got Heads Up in light blue just in front of Halo Walker in pink.
This battle between Heads Up and Halo is unbelievable, Craig. The fact that these 2 keep getting closer and spreading apart is just crazy, and the fact that Halo's keeping up with Heads Up is fantastic.
Already on to lap number 2, the Allianz Vortex is next. Great dive by Heads Up and Halo as they're through the T-Mobile tunnel. That sets up the handrail gate. That'll drop them through the Allianz Pentagate. Heads Up in front of Halo Walker. You've got Sky and Green in third.
Halo's got to pull some moves out of something because he is running out of track real estate here, and he's got to get that win to get that momentum through the rest of his semifinal.
Heads Up with a great stack gate. That's given him some maneuverability. There's the turn around the tower. This is it, the final left. You've got Heads Up taking heat number 1.
Oh my goodness!
That
dude,
lap 2 split
the
S.
music dropped on the perfect beat. Like, it was like total flow state. Total flow state. Just like the nerves went to 0 once the music dropped.
Dude, Heads Up, we were battling.
We were, dude. I saw you come ahead of me.
I wanted it. I really did.
Heads up, we just heard you say the nerves went to 0. You're talking about flow state. You did just seem to make it look easy. What's going right for you?
Definitely wasn't easy. My first lap, the nerves were high, I tell you. Like, I was shaking. I felt like all the flicks on the sticks were not where they needed to be. But going into lap 2, something just changed, and it felt like I was like, I can do this. I finished the first lap, so let's go to town, and feel like I definitely made the right moves, and I was able to hold off the others. But Halo Walker was definitely on me, but I guess I held him off. But there's 2 more heats to go.
The split S-gate seems to be quite a pivotal point for people. You're pulling away there as well. How important is that moment for you?
That's a now or never type scenario right there, and I saw Halo Walker jump ahead of me, so I was like, all right, I'm going to go for it. I know that I'm strong there, and I committed, and it worked out for me. But that is definitely somewhere that can bite you if you take it too tight when you don't need to.
Well, no surprises. You're through to the golden heat. We'll see you there. Thank you.
See you there.
Heads Up beat Sky by a little over 0.3 of a second in that winning time, 117.671.
Well, Heads Up pulled out a little bit of space, and we have to look at all of the little minutia of flying these drones to figure out where he's picking up those opportunities. The biggest thing that I noticed was at the T-Mobile tower. You can see Heads Up comes in, does not give any extra space, and cuts it nice and tight. Everybody else is to the right of him looking at the screen, and you can see how he's able to cut off a little bit of extra time as often as possible, using every element that he's got at his advantage.
Heads Up makes the most of the first chance in semifinal 2, becoming the first pilot to advance. Download the Drone Racing Arcade, a fun, free, and easy-to-play drone racing mobile game on iOS and Android. Heads Up headed to a familiar place, the finals, but 2 more pilots are destined to join him. Heat 2 is next.
Vital Intelligence is a contactless vital sign monitoring platform developed using machine vision and AI. What we've developed is the ability to remotely monitor blood pressure, heart rate, oxygen saturation, respiratory rate, and a slew of other vital bioindicators. Looking at the vasculature of your cheeks is able to see with every heartbeat the blood flowing through your face. The Vital Intelligence platform does these calculations in real time. So within 10 to 15 seconds of being observed by almost any camera, we're able to then provide any user with those valuable biometrics.
Definitely think we're going to see my heart rate increase on the Dragonfly kiosk.
Drone racing can be an exhausting endeavor. The races take hours, they're highly intense, and as our drone racers prepare to endure those conditions, we can help them deliver stronger performances on race day. Woo! With this new technology, we're revolutionizing the experience for pilots, fans, and the sporting industry now and into the future.
This is DRL, the Drone Racing League. Welcome back to Level 11 Biosphere. We're getting set for heat number 2 here in semifinal 2. You might notice the pilots are wearing headsets from riggaming.com, the official gaming headset and controller partner of the Drone Racing League, available at Best Buy and other major retailers. TK, you may not have gotten the win, but I think Heat 1 was a moral victory for Halo Walker.
Oh, it certainly was. But the fact that he was able to keep up with Heads Up is a huge win in your own mind when you know that you're at your level and you're competing with this guy next to his level. That's a huge benefit. But look, the difference between the two is that Heads Up was making mistakes early on and he adapted it and corrected them throughout his heat. Halo was doing fantastic and then adapted the wrong way and made a mistake. So he's got to figure out how to tighten up some of those turns and eliminate those mistakes if he wants to keep up with the caliber of pilots like Heads Up.
Semi-final 2, Heat 2. Success can be fickle, so keep it simple. The pyramid gate leads to the square gate, then we've watched that right turn around the T-Mobile tower. That's when things start to sort out. You've got heads up in light blue, Soren there briefly in orange was towards the front. Vanover in silver is starting to show his face as well.
Well, Halo Walker starting to make some corrections in the right way, but there's one that he made a big mistake and swung too wide.
Halo Walker trying to stay relevant. He is back in second. That's the pink drone, but heads up in light blue, no problem at all through that Algorand split gate. Now it's the back around the tower, and they'll drop down through the field gates. You've got Vanover in silver, who's now moved into second.
I was just going to say, partner, look at Vanover right there in second, creeping up on Heads Up, looking for an opportunity, but I don't think Heads Up's going to give him one.
They've dropped through the Allianz Vortex. Now that sets up a T-Mobile tunnel. Our hard left turn, the walkway, and then the handrail gate. Now they'll go through the Allianz Pentagate. You've got Heads Up in light blue just in front of Vanover in silver. Halo in pink in third.
Look, if Vanover was smart, don't risk it for the biscuit because you're probably not going to get it. Hold on to second and carry that momentum into the next one. Unless you see that opportunity in front of you, do not bite.
Final left turn around the tower. Heads Up seems to be in utter control. And he's going to take heat number 2. Vanover second.
Oh, I could feel you, Vanny. You wanted it.
Oh.
I could feel you. You were working for that one.
Man,
you put in the time this week. You put in the time. I can see it. You put in the time.
That was a good race. Good race.
Yeah, good race, man.
Vanover, good to speak to you again. I've been waiting to chat to you. Now talk to me about Desire, because in that heat, I think we saw it by the bucket load.
Yeah, I really wanted it. I mean, the first 2 sim levels this year have not gone my way. They haven't represented the hard work I put in, but it doesn't matter. You're only as good as your last race, so I'm going to keep working hard and hopefully move my way up into that finals and into that golden heat.
How much confidence does that last heat give you?
It gives me a lot of confidence. Heads Up's the one to beat this season and on the track right now, so it feels good that I'm running just behind him, and I'm just going to keep pushing, and take that confidence into Heat 3 and hopefully get that win.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Ella.
Vanover may want the confidence, but Heads Up will definitely take the win, as by 0.2 of a second, he is now 2 for 2. DRL constantly pushes all limits in the sport of drone racing, and this year they've added a new element to the sim for this championship season: partial damage. Now, even nicking a gate can slow a drone down, so it changes how pilots approach the racing.
I like the crash system, to be honest. I feel like it gives a bit more realism and it forces you to be maybe slightly more conservative.
In previous years, if you just crashed, you had no damage and you could just keep going. And that's not realistic racing.
If you make one mistake, you're out of it. But with the new crash system, it feels like it's never really over. You always have a shot.
I like it because it's a lot closer to real life racing. You bump something, you get a little bit of damage, your drone goes slower.
It changes the way we race and take lines, and that brings in an element of risk management as well.
It's not going to be like last year where you can make a mistake and crawl back through. It's going to mean that you can't fly at the absolute limit of possibility every single run, because you might get some prop damage or your drone might explode.
Heads Up has dropped all the way back to 6th, so he obviously hit something and had contact.
The crash system is forcing us to take lines that are more realistic to what we would fly with a real drone, and it's also forcing us to mitigate risk much more like we would in real life. So I think it's an amazing addition to the sim.
Like, everyone's scared of it, so I love it. I love things that scare people.
I didn't see any effects of the crash system on level 9. I never crashed.
Show us how you push all limits using hashtag #PushAllLimits and tagging DRL. Heads Up and his domination have been hard to ignore. The other 5 will try to rewrite the script and avoid sudden death.
Going into this season, I feel like there's a lot of unfinished business from last season. At the end of the day, my goal is to be the world champion, and I'm not going to always be fully satisfied unless I'm on the top spot.
I'm playing simulator till like 1 a.m. and I'm going to field at like 6 a.m. till 6 p.m. I'm practicing 3 times more than other people.
I'm planning to pick up where I left off at last year's Vegas Championship race. Last year was just about survival. This year I'm here to win.
I'm very good at being there no matter what the pressure is, no matter how many upsets there are. You can always count on a good race from me. 7 years of 707, you know?
I'm pretty confident. I know I can do it. I'm training for this. I'm practicing for this, like every day.
I'm fully expecting that I'm going to be competing for the top this season, especially with hybrid and everything. It's a really unique skill set required to do well. I think I'm uniquely positioned to excel at everything that we're going to be doing this year.
Being honest, I just want to win. I don't care if I have to train every single day at 6 a.m. I will do anything just to win.
I feel confident in my abilities to beat a lot of the pilots. I've been putting in a lot of work and a lot of practice, so I just feel confident.
These guys literally got their names by racing me. This isn't the first time I've raced them. I'm not really scared to race anybody.
The opportunity to be here is like such a privilege. So many pilots would wish to be here. I really want to show that I'm worthy.
I'm 100% committed that I will win every race out there. So if you like to root for a winner, then you probably should root for me.
To be an elite drone racer is a mindset. It's I need to be there. It's not I want to be there. It's not I hope to be there. It's I need to be there. I do deserve to be in DRL. The amount of time I put in should speak for itself.
This is DRL, the Drone Racing League. Welcome back to the semifinals of Level 11 Biosphere. We are now in semifinal 2, and Heads Up is still the only pilot that is qualified for the finals. TK, let's talk Vanover, our 2019 DRL World Champion, because I would love for you to explain to our new fans why that was just a big second place for him.
Yeah, that was huge. Look, you're going up against the caliber of Heads Up. That's already big enough as it is, right? It's tough enough to get to the front and hold on when you know you're going up against that huge battle. But Vanover is not coming off of the best in this season so far. He's had some mistakes. He's fallen down in the season standing, so that's hurting him. He's thinking about that, but to get that second place is a huge momentum driver for him. To carry that into heat number 3 is gigantic. He's confident he's going to take heat 3. I'm pretty confident Heads Up's going to take it, and then we'll see Vanover in sundown.
Semifinal 2, heat 3. Stay grounded as you rocket off the flight deck. First, it's the Pyramid Gate. Then they'll hit the Square Gate and the right turn around the T-Mobile Tower. You've got Vanover in silver briefly in front, Halo Walker in pink right there, as is Heads Up in light blue.
Yeah, we'll keep your eyes on Heads Up in light blue because he's going to run to the front of this pack in no time.
Up to the Dragonfly Gate. That'll send them to the other side of the Biosphere. Then, of course, it's the Chicane. Next, it's the Simple Gate and the Algorand Stacked Gate. Every pilot knows that is important. Around the tower.
Keep your eye on Vanover in silver. He does not want to let Heads Up win, but Heads Up does not want to let Vanover win, so the egos are going to clash here.
You've got 4 pilots very closely bunched together at the front. Heads Up in light blue, Halo Walker in pink, Vanover in silver. They continue to jostle for that first place position. Already through the handrail gate, it's the Allianz Pentagate next. Dragonfly Gate sets up that backside of the Biosphere as they drop through. I tell you what, Vanover is right there, but Heads Up now is in the lead.
Heads Up had a beautiful drop from the Dragonfly Gate, and that allowed him to set up all the rest of these gates exactly how he needed. But look, he has got some company with Vanover.
That's it, the final turn, 2 out of 3, and who's it going to be? It is too close to call between 4 drones, and it goes to Vanover.
Oh my gosh, the suspense. What a battle.
Jeez.
What a battle, dude. I saw Sky come into the mix. I was, oh my goodness.
Wow, good race.
Dude, Vanny, you were in there. Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness. That was so close. I wasn't sure he was going to get it.
That was fun to watch, boys.
We are seeing deep relief from you. The words, no, 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 please, coming out of Heads Up's mouth. Is the rivalry back?
Oh, let's see if I get to the finals, yes. But I mean, it's definitely there right now. We're racing great. I mean, it's difficult. I've unfortunately done bad the first 2 levels of Sim, so I'm not starting on the very best podium, which means I got time to make up from the beginning of the race. So I'm flying really well. Hopefully that second place gets me a good spot going into the sudden death, and I'm amped up, Layla. I'm ready to get out there. I really want to get into the finals.
So answer me this, where were you in the first 2 levels of Sim, and how come you're back now? What changed?
Yeah, well, geez, the first 2 levels of Sim, I didn't even make the finals. Just bad luck, really. Mistakes, inconsistency is really what played a role. So I've been putting in more time than ever, especially going into this week, so there's no excuses now. It just comes down to racing is 70% skill and 30% luck, and I'm really hoping that the luck is on my favor tonight because I feel like the skill is definitely there.
The skill is absolutely there, so now what's your strategy moving on?
I got to push really hard in the sudden death because everyone's going to want it. I feel like if I pull back too much, I'm probably just going to lose fair and square. So I'm just going to give it everything. I'd rather go out there and hit a gate and know that I gave it everything I had versus come in last place because I didn't try hard enough. So we'll see how it works in sudden death.
Good to see you back. Thank you.
Thanks, Layla.
Tell you what, somebody needs to tell Vanover he won that last heat. He doesn't need to go to sudden death because he is headed to the finals. He wins by 9 1/1000ths of a second over Heads Up.
To be fair, that entire race was extremely close. We had the top 4 guys all battling back and forth, neck and neck, but the difference was made in the split S gate. Vanover was able to take his lead in the split S gate by cutting it and keeping his elevation high and heading right for the next set of gates, and that allowed him that lead for the rest of the heat. You can then see when they come down from the tower, he still managed to hold on to that gap by just ever so slightly. Came through the last field gate, and he is. I mean, I couldn't tell who was going to win it. But if you come into the very end, you can see Heads Up Vanover gets his props through the gate just slightly before Heads Up.
It is official. Vanover does take the win in heat number 3, as confusing as it may have sounded and was even confusing for the pilots. So we are now going to have 4 pilots in sudden death fighting for that last spot. And TK, let's talk about Sky, Halo Walker, Soren, and Fluxy. You know, we just witnessed it, right? Sometimes the pilots don't even know who's got the win, who's going to take it out of these 4.
Well, look, you mentioned 4 names. I'm really looking at 2, and that's Sky and Halo, as these 2 have been the 2 that have been closest to getting into the mix, if you will. But Halo has had just a little bit better lines that I've seen on the track. He's just made some mistakes. Sky, on the other hand, just hasn't quite had the consistency that I was hoping to see from him today. So it's going to be a battle between these 2, but who's going to make less mistakes might be the one that comes out ahead.
Who do you think, by the way, has the mental edge in this sudden death between the 2 that you're talking about? Because let's be honest, right? You've got the 2 guys who have dominated both IRL and sim competition the past 2 years. They're now out, right? They're sitting on the sidelines.
Yeah.
So who does that help mentally the most?
Look, I gotta go with Halo Walker on, and it's nothing against Sky because I think he's got a great mental fortitude. But look, Halo is our previous sim champ, right? The guy knows what he's doing in the sim, and he has proven that. And so with that confidence comes this level of skill. So I'm expecting to see that come out of him.
Semi-final 2, sudden death. Breathe in the pressure and push through. 4 pilots take to the air. There's only 1 spot left coming out of semifinal number 2. They'll drop through the Allianz Vortex. You've got Soren in orange in front, ahead of Fluxy in red. Halo Walker in pink just trying to stay close.
Well, that is very uncharacteristic, and I imagine Halo Walker's not going to let that stand very long. He's got to find that right line that he knows through this course. And right now, it looks like he might have gotten back on track.
The Algorand stacked gate, and there he is. You've got Halo in pink. He's in front of Sky in green. Those were the two pilots that TK mentioned should be up front. Now they've found their comfort zone as they start lap number 2. That was a great turn onto lap 2 by Sky, who got him even closer to Halo.
Look, keep your eye out on Sky in green as he falls behind Halo, and he starts to realize that he's going to push even harder, and that could spell disaster if he just pushes it beyond his limits.
They're already through that Allianz Pentagon. Now that's the Dragonfly gate. That takes them to the backside of the Biosphere. The Chicane, the Simple gate, and the Algorand Split S one final time. Halo in pink, Sky in green, on top of each other. They'll go around the tower one final time. That'll drop them down to the field gate. This is to move on to the finals. Your last lap. Who's it going to be? Dead, even, and it goes to Halo Walker.
I don't know. It's showing me the wrong
I don't
times
know.
again.
Did I get it? The
I think so.
Yeah! Oh! Yeah! Come on! Let's go!
GG, boys.
That
was a really good race.
That was
a good race.
Great racing, guys.
That's a great race.
Look at how
GG,
close.
good race. Good race. Good race. Oh.
Wow, good racing.
An unbelievably tight finish, but a win that I could only see as inevitable because throughout every heat you were on the tail of the first pilot. That was bound to happen, wasn't it?
Yes, it definitely was. I was pushing it these last few heats, really trying to get into Heads Up's head, trying to have him make mistakes. On heat 3, I was leading going into the second lap split S, and took it wide there, and that just lost my lead there, and so happy to have made it through to the finals in sudden death now.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
There must be something in the sudden death sim water, because that's another win by 9 1/1000ths of a second. This time, it's Halos to advance.
Once again, another insane battle back and forth for the lead. But if you watch this last tower pass, you can see how Sky keeps his altitude as low as possible, and that's what allows him to close the gap up on Halo Walker in this last segment of the course. He's able to just bring it back to within a quick grasp, but then we go through this final turn. Sky still cuts it even closer, but he does not quite make the pass. That leaves Halo Walker out front. It was so close, it was hard to even tell who was going to be out in the lead, but in the end, Halo Walker was able to hold him off just that extra little bit longer and move on to finals.
Our 3 pilots advancing out of semifinal number 2, Heads Up, Vanover, and Halo. The Dragonfly gate is a tricky element on this track because pilots end up facing the ground. TK, take us through it, presented by the U.S. Air Force.
The maneuver through the Dragonfly gate is a blind descent, requiring precise control and confident muscle memory. As pilots pass through the gate, they pitch forward hard, inverting the drone to quickly descend, though losing sight of the next gate. They then pitch back at the right moment to head straight to the next gate. Pitching the drone too far forward will cause the drone to drop too steeply, causing them to fly a longer line.
For the first time this year in the sim, Vanover is in, but there is a juggernaut of talent ready to decide this overall. Our finals are next.
We're here at the training facility with Gotham FC, and for the very first time, we're going to have the FPV drone on the field with the players as they're training. We're hoping to get some really unique shots and something you've never seen before.
The Drone Racing League, brought to you by Algorand, the world's first blockchain designed for the future of finance. By Allianz, the global leader in asset management, investments, and insurance. And by T-Mobile, the leader in 5G, America's largest, fastest, and most reliable 5G network. Welcome back to the 2021 DRL World Championship. We are on the DRL simulator for Level 11 Biosphere. And TK, we are set for the finals. And this finals, right, my friend? It's stacked. Let's talk about some of these guys that are in here. But first, we're going to focus on 2019 DRL World Champion Vanover. He's in his first sim finals of the year, and that cannot be overstated.
No, this is huge, Craig. This finals group is a banger if I ever seen one, that's for sure. But with Vanover in the mix, considering it's the first one he's made in the sim levels, is huge for him. It's a huge confidence booster. This is what he needed. Look, being behind in the season points, coming into the finals in this and the other three guys' world, if you know what I mean, that is a huge testament, and I hope he disturbs those three.
Well, let's get some more insight from our 2018 DRL World Champion, Paul Nurkla. Paul, you just heard TK reference the number 3. Well, there are 3 guys that make up the Flying V. How do you see this finals going?
Yeah, we haven't seen a lot of people disrupt the Flying V, and really all that means is gone faster than Heads Up Alex and Amari. However, we watched in semifinals that Vanover beat Heads Up once on pace outright, and that's going to be a big opportunity for him to get in there and get ahead of those guys. If he can build up some momentum, build up some speed, build up some confidence that he has what it takes to get out front, he might start clawing back on some of those season points.
Well, he certainly has the fire lit underneath him, and I'm talking about Vanover, that is, to get into that Flying V and disrupt it. So the real question is, how does he do that, Paul? Is it just as simple as just flying through it?
I mean, it's definitely as simple as that, but that is not a simple thing to do. You have to be so precise on every single turn, every single element. You have to cut things tighter. You have to do things, and in doing so, you're going to invite more risk, right? The faster you fly, the harder you fly, the closer you get to stuff, the more likely you are to potentially hit them. So Vanover has to find the balance between, I'm going to go as fast as I possibly can, and I'm going to actually make it to the finish.
Paul, I'd love to hear your insights also on Halo Walker, right? Because at times in that last semifinal, he was right there as well. And I mean, look, if there's another guy that can possibly disrupt this, we've talked about it in previous levels. It could be Halo.
Halo's insanely fast on the sim, and he knows what he needs to do to win, but he's got a tall order against the Flying V and Vanover.
Well, let's meet our 6 finalists and the colors they will fly. We start with our defending DRL World Champion, Heads Up, flying light blue. His good friend Alex FPV, also in Tennessee, flies blue. Amari in Iowa, white. Vanover, silver. Gab 707, yellow. And Halo Walker from Germany flies pink. Finals, Heat 1. They are up yet again. This time it looks a little bit more even as they'll go through the pyramid gate, that square gate, and again, the right turn around the T-Mobile Tower. You've got Amari in white, Heads Up in light blue, Vanover in silver. They're your top 3.
Oh, good on Amari to pull ahead through the drop on the vortex, take advantage of the others going slow through that turn, and he just ripped right through it.
The backside of the biosphere through the chicane, that sets up the simple gate in the Algorand Split S. You've got Amari in white just in front of Vanover in silver and Heads Up in light blue.
Looks like that V is certainly getting a disruption as Vanover's in the midst of it all.
On to lap number 2, up to the pyramid gate. Now the square gate in that T-Mobile Tower turn. You do have Amari in white first, Alex FPV in blue in second, but briefly Heads Up in light blue in third. Vanover's dropped now down to 4th.
Seeing a handful of slow turns through the front half of this track, and then they start to pick it up. Amari especially has just found the right spot through these gates, and he is just on a rail.
Amari in first, Alex in second. It's now Halo Walker in pink, who's in third. Closing moments of this first heat. Drop through the tower into the field gates. Amari, the final turn. Amari wins Heat 1. Halo gets second.
You got second? It's a different breed of flying in the finals.
That was real fast.
It's a different type of flying in finals, dude. Woo! Finals just hits different.
One more.
Amari, fantastic run there. Talk to me through the difference in heart rate from lap 1 to lap 2.
Man, you know, finals is a totally different beast. I wish I would have had a run like that in semifinals to help me settle down, but it's a good time to have a fast run like that. I wouldn't have changed a single thing. My heart's in my throat.
I
Still.
can imagine. I can imagine. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Amari's win assures him a spot in the Golden Heat, but keep an eye on Halo. The new rule is 2 seconds, also gets you in that Golden Heat as well. He said he wouldn't change a thing, but the other 5 are going to have to tweak something if they want to make the Golden Heat as well.
The Algorand ecosystem is where monumental change takes shape. So come transform the world with us on Algorand.
This is DRL, the Drone Racing League. Welcome back to the finals of Level 11 Biosphere. Amari just won Heat number 1 and secured his spot in the winner-take-all Golden Heat. TK, we talked about how talent-heavy this final was. The guy who's won the most levels this season, heads up, he finished dead last.
Yeah, that's unbelievable, Craig. Like the mere fact that the one guy we expected to win this one, at least the first heat, has gotten dead last. That's a huge momentum breakup, if you will, for him, and a huge momentum wake up for Amari as he gets to take the lead here through the finals. So it's going to be a crazy one to watch. I don't even know where to go from this, Craig. I'm just excited to see the rest of the heats.
Finals, Heat 2. To be the best, overlapping skill sets are a must. The Pyramid Gate, once again to the Square Gate, the T-Mobile Tower early lead for Heads Up in light blue. Alex FPV there, Van over there as well.
Huge confidence booster for Heads Up as he pulls into that lead, but look, he knows the rest of the pilots are right there with him. This is a close pack.
Up to the Dragonfly Gate. That'll send them to the backside of the Biosphere as they'll head through the chicane. Alex FPV in blue, Heads Up in light blue. They're 1-2.
Remember, seconds matter here, so watch Halo Walker in pink. He's going to try and creep in. He's got to get at least a second.
Down through the field gates. That'll send them up to the Pyramid Gate and lap number 2. Alex in front, Heads Up in second, but Halo skirting with that second place as he's right there fighting with Heads Up.
Look at Heads Up. Behind Alex here, he's got to wait for the opportunity or make his own. So through this gate right here, through the next one, that's what he's got to do. Pull it tighter. He knows the line better than Alex through this course. At least we should assume that.
Halo Walker, my friend, huge mistake. He's gone. That leaves Alex in blue in front. Heads Up light blue in second. Amari in third. The Flying V, 1, 2, 3. Alex takes the win. Heads Up second.
Who got it?
Alex, Ben Heads Up.
Oh my gosh.
What a heat.
Well, someone's happy.
Oh my gosh, dude.
Oh!
You were going.
Wheels, baby!
Alex, I'm almost
Wheels!
having I'm almost having to take my headphones off for that one. The joy is infectious with you every time, but this one meant more, didn't it?
Oh, absolutely. You know, we started off the first week, made it to the Golden Heat. Everybody thinks I'm good. Second heat, the battle is with me, is with myself. You know, I got this constant devil's advocate on my shoulder telling me, you know, you're getting lucky. You know, you don't really deserve to be there. You know, you have to do it a bunch before you're not lucky. So this is huge for me personally. It's just constantly winning those battles with myself, making sure that I do deserve to be here, and just here to prove it.
Well, the harder you work, the luckier you get. Good luck. Thank you.
Thank you.
After 2 heats in the finals, we've had 2 different winners and 2 different pilots who have placed second. Alex wins heat number 2, heads up a critical second place. You know, we've been hearing a lot about this flying V.
Alex, Heads Up, and Amari all have this thing, the Flying V. They say it to each other, Flying V engage, and they literally fly 3 like a V throughout the whole track.
Flying V is hard right now.
Oh my gosh, we cannot be stopped.
Those 3 pilots get together and they're all feeding off of each other, and they start performing really, really well.
When they made the Golden Heat, they're trying to make sure that no one else gets into that, and that is really tough to break that flying V.
Oh, look at that, Craig! The V is engaged already!
I've never been on the opposite side of the flying V, but I can tell you I've seen some of the 6-way feeds after we get fired up and the energy gets going between the 3 of us. It's a hard snowball to stop.
It is the V, and they are in formation.
In all honesty, it's pretty simple to beat us. You just have to get to that finish gate faster than we do. We're not blocking you by any means. All 3 of us are definitely putting in the time right now. We are perfecting our lines. It just doesn't seem like the other guys are able to do that as well as us at the moment.
Every single time we go out there, we're consistently better than the rest.
Get in there, baby! Give me that 1, 2, 3. That's what I love to see.
Their energy is just way up here, and they're feeling themselves. They're flying really well.
When we're in our group, we can not be stopped like you just saw, and I get a feeling you're going to see that another 3 heats in a row. B, 1, 2, 3, yes! Oh my gosh, it's not even fair! It's not even fair!
Dude, I feel bad. I kind of feel bad.
With more sim racing, this is Level 11 Biosphere. A lot more to come. Welcome to the premier international drone racing circuit. This is DRL, the Drone Racing League.
We've teamed up with Drone Racing League to fuel 5G innovation in 2 fast-growing markets, drones and tech-powered sports.
T-Mobile is building the largest, fastest, most reliable 5G network in the country. And DRL is building a new sport that depends on using innovative technology to create an audience experience like no one has ever seen before.
In the past, the analog video that's come through is not very clear and not very clean. With T-Mobile 5G wireless technology, we get a crystal clear image. Now that the field test has proven to be a success, it's time to build a fleet of these drones and take them to DRL races and T-Mobile events and really show the world what this drone can do.
This is just the beginning, and I can't wait to see this 5G drone take flight.
This is DRL, the Drone Racing League. Welcome back to the finals of Level 11 Biosphere. We already have 2 pilots who have qualified for the Golden Heat, both Amari and Alex FPV. Let's get to it. Finals, Heat 3. The pilots refocus, still with the ultimate goal, winning. As the pyramid gate leads to the square gate, once again the T-Mobile Tower right turn will set up the Allianz Vortex. You've got the flying V right up there again. Alex FPV heads up, but Amari has now dropped back. Halo is in third.
Got my eye on heads up, Craig, watching him through a couple of these turns. He's just taking him a little bit better, but he did have one wide turn which slowed him down.
Leading into the simple gate, which also is then the Algorand stacked gate. You've got Alex in blue in first. Vanover was briefly the silver drone in second. Around the tower, Halo in pink has dropped back to fourth, but now manages to claw his way back to third. On to lap number 2. All behind him, Alex in blue is your leader.
Oh, we're seeing that heads up and Halo Walker battle again, but look at heads up as he pulls ahead again through the dive.
Well, you mentioned heads up and Halo Walker. If either of them get a second, they will move on to the Golden Heat as well. Alex is already in with his win. A second win only reconfirms his confidence level as they'll get set for the Algorand stacked gate again. Alex in blue first, and now Vanover has surged into second. So a critical maneuver for him around the tower, down to the field gates. Last left turn, Alex is going to get the win, but who gets second? It is Vanover.
Wow.
Oh,
way to hold on to it, Alex.
Dude.
Thank you.
No,
thank you.
Alex, dude.
Why?
Alex was out, bro.
Alex
he was
gone.
out there.
Yeah, he had a full tail.
Absolutely gone.
One full tail. That was a big lead.
Come on.
Alex was out.
Yeah, he was gone.
We've been talking all season about the heads-up Vanover rivalry. Vanover went quiet at the beginning of the sim levels. It looks like he's back and really battling with you in that last heat.
Yeah, that was definitely a battle. Vanover turned it up this week, that's for sure. But you know, now I've got the lead. Now he's the one who's fighting to catch up to me, and you know, I'm going to try and take that to my advantage and try and do the best I can out there. But yeah, it's definitely impressive what he's able to do this week.
Thank you.
Alex gets a second win, but as I mentioned, Vanover with a very important second in that heat. We still only have 2 pilots, however, in the Golden Heat. TK, this is getting interesting with all these guys and their second places, right? Yeah. Who's got the mental advantage between the men that aren't in yet?
That's a great question. I'd like to say heads up, but I feel like heads up has been shaken by the fact that Vanover's in the finals with him. He knows that Vanover is hunting him, and I think it's getting to him. When was the last time we've seen a sixth place, second place, and a third place from a guy like heads up, right?
Absolutely. Finals, Heat 4. A pilot's job, perfect in real time through the pyramid gate. Now the square gate. That right turn around the T-Mobile Tower once again starts to sort them out. And once again, Alex FPV in blue right there. Amari in white in second, but Vanover in silver and heads up in light blue are right there as well.
You said it, Vanover and heads up. Remember, they both have a second. They're both looking for another one, and Alex is keeping them out of the lead.
As is Halo in pink. Remember, if he gets a second or a win, he will be in.
Not anymore.
Not anymore is right. As Halo Walker makes a critical mistake, they'll drop down to the field gates. End of the first lap. Starting lap number 2, Alex in blue still in front. Vanover in silver, heads up in light blue right there.
Heads up just cannot get an edge here. He is just swinging a slightly bit wider through these turns, and that's what's keeping him behind and unable to close that gap between him and Alex.
Up to the Dragonfly Gate. That sends them to the other side of the biosphere. You do have Alex in first. In light blue, that's heads up in second. Vanover in third. So if heads up stays in the position he's in, he'll qualify based on 2 seconds. But Vanover's still got a little bit of room to make up. And Alex in blue in front yet again. He's going to win for the 3rd time. Heads up does get his second. He's headed to the Golden Heat as well.
We got heads up in there.
That was good.
Yes.
Good job, heads up.
Alex is just built different.
Alex is going. Alex is going. Hold it together.
And there's the relief that we wanted. Heads up, back in the Golden Heat, right where you should be, right?
Well, you know, it's definitely a good place to be, that's for sure. It took me 4 heats to get there, so not exactly where I want to be. But hopefully I'll start to find that confidence later in these heats and maybe can bring in a win in the heat that counts, which is the Golden Heat.
I've always loved the camaraderie between you and your good friend Alex. He's a good friend of yours outside of drone racing as well. Most often, Alex is chasing you. It's turned around here slightly. How does that change your mentality?
Well, Alex is definitely on one today. He is absolutely killing it. And, you know, when Alex is flying like that, it's really hard to get up and fly at the same level as him. Some days he's just totally a different breed from anything that I can be. So today, that's his day. And I want to win really bad, but it's going to be really tough to overtake him in any of these heats right now.
We look forward to watching you in the Golden Heat. Thank you.
Heads Up just said it. He wants to win, and if you want to win a level, you have to be in the Golden Heat. 3 pilots are in. Heat 5 is next. We're getting ready for the last 2 regular heats.
When I'm flying, I put my helmet on, my visor down, my mask up. You don't know who I am. Whether I'm African American, Asian American, Hispanic, white, male or female. You just know I'm an American airman kicking your butt. I'm General C.Q. Brown Jr. Come join us.
This is DRL, the Drone Racing League. Welcome back to the finals of Level 11 Biosphere with just 2 more regular heats of racing remaining. The Flying V, Alex, Amari, and Heads Up, they have all secured their spots in the Golden Heat. TK, let's talk about Vanover and Halo Walker because they each only need 1 more second with those 2 regular heats remaining. Can they both do it?
Yeah, that's right. Like I think they both can. I think only possibly Vanover will make that happen. I'm seeing just a bit more flying from him, a bit more confidence in his run. I'm seeing him take the proper lines. I'm seeing him catch up a little bit more. So I'm seeing things that are just faring slightly better from between him and Halo Walker. So I gotta give it to Vanover here. If someone's gonna get a second, I feel like it'll be him.
Finals, Heat 5. If life's a game, here, winning matters. Already through the Pyramid Gate, Square Gate next, and that T-Mobile Tower comes up, Heads Up in light blue right there, Vanover in silver second.
Vanover is cooking right now. He got out ahead, and he seems to be holding on, but the rest of the pack doesn't want to let him have it.
The Dragonfly Gate is next. That leads to the backside of the Biosphere in the chicane. You've got Heads Up, Vanover, Amari. They're all right there. Alex is in fourth.
This is the Vanover I expected to see, Craig. He is pushing all the limits right now and taking it to the very edge.
Field Gate and lap number 1. You've got Alex all of a sudden has found the front right next to Vanover Silver Drone. They're fighting for first right behind them, Amari and Heads Up.
That is a dangerous spot to be. You don't want to be next to Alex when he's quote-unquote chooching.
Lap number 2, it always decides it. Up to the Dragonfly Gate again. Alex in front. Vanover sitting in second, the white drone of Amari in third, but Heads Up, the light blue drone is within striking distance.
Well, he was within striking distance, but that's a slower turn back there, and Vanover was able to gain some advantage. But look at Heads Up catch up.
Alex, you've heard it from the other pilots. This is his level so far. Another win in these finals. Heads Up gets another second.
Oh, wow. Yeah! Let's go! Oh, wow. Yeah, let's go!
I'm lightheaded right now.
One more heat.
Alex, congratulations. I spoke to your good friend Heads Up a moment ago, and he said when Alex is on one, there is no stopping him. Do you feel unstoppable right now?
You know, I probably feel as close to it as you can come, but it's never a shoe-in. I think I had a lot of confidence going into the Golden Heat last week, and I'm trying not to make that mistake again. So I'm just taking it heat by heat, making sure I don't push too hard where I get out of my comfort zone, and just wanting to make sure I can nail down these times back to back to back. And I'm feeling pretty good about it so far, but you know, of course, we'll see in that Golden Heat.
Thank you very much, Alex. Look forward to watching you in the Golden Heat.
Absolutely.
Yes, Alex won, but look at number 2 and number 3. Heads Up keeps Vanover out of the Golden Heat by 3/100ths of a second.
Yeah, just like Craig was saying, this was the matter of keeping Vanover out of the finals, or out of the Golden Heat, excuse me. Heads Up and we're battling back and forth, and Alex took this amazing pass through the vortex on Vanover to put him behind him, and that kind of causes some distraction, and it causes Vanover to start to move back, right? When Vanover doesn't have that clean line out in front, he's now got to contend with people in his vision distracting him. So when we get down to the finals, in the very end, we make a pass on Vanover that pushes him to the 3rd position, keeping him out of that Golden Heat.
Alex is definitely the big boy of the biosphere with his 4 heat wins, and we know the 3 pilots moving on. Vanover, Halo Walker, and Gab have one more chance before they're out. The last regular heat is about to go. You're not going to want to miss it.
Vital Intelligence is a contactless vital sign monitoring platform developed using machine vision and AI. What we've developed is the ability to remotely monitor blood pressure, heart rate, oxygen saturation, respiratory rate, and a slew of other vital bioindicators. Looking at the vasculature of your cheeks is able to see with every heartbeat the blood flowing through your face. The Vital Intelligence platform does these calculations in real time. So within 10 to 15 seconds of being observed by almost any camera, we're able to then provide any user with those valuable biometrics.
I definitely think we're going to see my heart rate increase on the Dragonfly kiosk.
Drone racing can be an exhausting endeavor. The races take hours, they're highly intense, and as our drone racers prepare to endure those conditions, we can help them deliver stronger performances on race day. Woo! With this new technology, we're revolutionizing the experience for pilots, fans, and the sporting industry now and into the future.
This is DRL, the Drone Racing League. Welcome back. Only one more chance here in the finals of Level 11 Biosphere for the pilots to earn their way into the Golden Heat. We know Alex FPV, Amari, and Heads Up will be there. But TK, are we just going to see those 3 pilots, or will there be a 4th that finds his way in?
I like to believe there's going to be a 4th, and I'm looking at Vanover with just, 3/100ths of a second behind the Heads Up. Like, he's right there. It's not like he's leaps and bounds behind. He's just a props blade behind, and I think that he has the wherewithal to do it, but he's going to run into trouble against Heads Up. He's going to do everything he can to keep Vanover out of the Golden Heat.
Finals, Heat 6. Last chance to book that reservation for the Golden Heat. All in the air. The Pyramid Gate to the Square Gate to the T-Mobile Tower. You've got Amari in white, Heads Up in light blue, Alex in blue, but Vanover in silver. Those 4, it seems like it's been that way the start of every heat.
Well, it may have been that way, but it doesn't always end up that way. Watch as these guys take the rest of these turns and who swings wide and blows them out.
Well, Halo in pink has already dropped way back. Vanover just in front of him in 4th place. Alex in blue, he's in front. Heads Up in light blue in 2nd. Vanover's found his way back into 3rd and now tickles the 2nd position.
Well, there's the battle of the champs here behind Alex as these two go at it, but Heads Up has that wherewithal. He's trying to disrupt Vanover's ability to get that 2nd, so watch for him to make some sharp moves.
The T-Mobile tunnel leads to the walkway, the handrail gate. They'll drop through the Allianz Pena gate up to the Dragonfly gate. Alex FPV looks on his way to another win. Heads Up in light blue in 2nd right behind him. Vanover in silver now flirts with 2nd position. Remember, a 2nd gets him in. He doesn't have to win. Last time around the tower, they'll drop down to the field gates. Alex FPV looks to win. Can Vanover hold on to 2nd? 5 other drones come in, and no! It's Heads Up who finishes 2nd behind Alex.
Look at the time! Wow! Wow! That was a really close one.
Great race.
Great race. Great race.
7 to 990. I mean, that was a great
Wow.
race.
We were all like within
that
0.1.
6-3 cuff.
Yeah, we know you're fast. Okay, you're bored anymore.
Heads Up, you know the target has been on your back throughout this season. Many of the pilots in your opposition wanting to get into your head, and you very much so wanting to get into the head of the others. And that was a very important win, wasn't it?
Well, that was definitely super important. With Vanover and I finishing 3/1000th of a second apart, that was, as far as pride goes, that was really good for me. I knew he really wanted that 2nd to get in that golden heat, but I held him off. I'm really happy about that. And yeah, it's a 3-person golden heat as far as I know. Myself, Alex, and Amari, and Alex is on top of it, and it's going to be really tough to take him out.
We've talked about the V formation in this show earlier. You constantly wanting to shut down the golden heat and have just 3 of you in it. What difference does that make for you? How important is that for you?
I mean, at the end of the day, we're all just trying to win every single heat out there. We're all giving it everything we got. We just happen to all kind of, one way or another, end up in that V just because we're all chasing each other down. And tonight was definitely as close as we've ever gotten to have that broken up. But we held it together. That practice paid off. And we didn't just practice when the sim season came. We haven't stopped. And I think it just showed right there.
Looking forward to the golden heat. Congrats.
Thank you.
Heads Up with another indication just how much of a supercomputer he is. Yes, he was right. He kept Vanover out of that golden heat, this time by 3/1000ths of a second.
Well, there's 2 big stories here in this final heat of finals before the golden heat. First of all, Alex absolutely gapping on the rest of this group. He's getting out in front, he's building that confidence, and he was talking earlier about how he felt like he was maybe the pretender, like he didn't deserve what he's doing, but I think he's absolutely building that confidence and setting himself up well for finals. But the other story was that we had a very, very close finish for 2nd, which was important for a lot of the other guys. Because all of these guys were in contention, they needed those 2nd places, and Heads Up was able to just barely edge out Vanover. That means that Vanover is not going to golden heat, and it's going to be a 3-way battle. It's an incredible race. Can't wait to see what happens.
It ends up being a 5th win for Alex FPV. Clearly, he's got, if not all, most of the momentum. After winning his rookie season in DRL, 2020 champ Heads Up doubled down on his training to find any advantage over the other pilots. This year, a big part of that push has been physical fitness. There's a closer look at why he flies, presented by Dragonfly, global UAV leader in the advancement and integration of drone technology.
Fitness has become a huge part of my life over the last year. Not only has it been for just my self-improvement, but I wanted to improve and find an edge over the other pilots in drone racing. Now it has become one of the things that I do every day that is part of my training regimen for DRL. Working out does far more than just making me physically stronger, because it makes me feel like I can do anything. It makes me feel like if I did something hard and I do it every single day, then when that challenge does arise in life, it makes me feel much more confident that I can do it because I do it every single day. Working out gives me a mental stamina that I didn't have before.
Heads Up's got the speed and he's going to take the win.
I feel extra sharp at the end when I feel like other pilots used up all their energy. The championship isn't one-in-one heat, it's not one-in-one event. A championship is an all-year endeavor. That means you have to wake up and get after it every single day. Having that drive and proving to yourself that you can do something consistently really starts to pay off once you get into the end of the season where everybody's tired, but you know that you can do it. You know you can get up every day and make it happen and bring home championships.
Heads Up is going to need all that strength and energy to overcome his best friend Alex FPV. The Golden Heat is next.
Going into this season, I feel like there's a lot of unfinished business from last season. At the end of the day, my goal is to be the world champion, and I'm not going to always be fully satisfied unless I'm on the top spot.
I'm playing simulator till like 1 a.m. and I'm going to field at like 6 a.m. till 6 p.m. I'm practicing 3 times more than other people.
I'm planning to pick up where I left off at last year's Vegas Championship race. Last year was just about survival. This year I'm here to win.
I'm very good at being there no matter what the pressure is, no matter how many upsets there are. You can always count on a good race for me. 7 years of 707, you know?
I'm pretty confident. I know I can do it. I'm training for this. I'm practicing for this, like every day.
I'm fully expecting that I'm going to be competing for the top this season, especially with hybrid and everything. It's a really unique skill set required to do well. I think I'm uniquely positioned to excel at everything that we're going to be doing this year.
Being honest, I just want to win. I don't care if I have to train every single day at 6 a.m. I will do anything just to win.
I feel confident in my abilities to beat a lot of the pilots. I've been putting in a lot of work and a lot of practice, so I just feel confident.
These guys literally got their names by racing me. This isn't the first time I've raced them. I'm not really scared to race anybody.
The opportunity to be here is like such a privilege. So many pilots would wish to be here. I really want to show that I'm worthy.
I'm 100% committed that I will win every race out there. So if you like to root for a winner, then you probably should root for me.
To be an elite drone racer is a mindset. It's I need to be there. It's not I want to be there. It's not I hope to be there. It's I need to be there. I do deserve to be in DRL. The amount of time I put in should speak for itself.
The Drone Racing League, brought to you by Algorand, the world's first blockchain designed for the future of finance. By riggaming.com, gear up, get good. And by the U.S. Air Force, aim high. Welcome back to Level 11 Biosphere. It's what we've all been waiting for, the Golden Heat, and 3 pilots are here. TK, Alex FPV has won the last 5 heats, so is he a shoo-in for the win?
Well, quick answer, yeah, he is. If he can hold it together, that's the real question, because the Golden Heat is an entirely different mentality that you have to be in when you're going in there. And Alex, well, while he has some experience in the Golden Heat, doesn't have a lot of experience winning the Golden Heats.
Well, let's check in with Paul another time to preview this Golden Heat. Nurk, you just heard TK say, right? And you know it all too well. The Golden Heat tends to be a different animal. Let's remind everybody, right? At the last level, he was leading, and then he DNF'd in the Golden Heat.
Yeah, you know what? It's the Golden Heat, it resets everything, right? The points that you have, the wins that you have until now don't matter in terms of technically where you are. However, you're coming in with that mentality, that strong mentality, and Alex has gone from this point of, you know, not feeling confident, feeling like he's maybe doesn't deserve to be here, and he's gone to win 5 heats in a row against some of the best pilots out there, and now he's coming into this Golden Heat with that absolute run of confidence. So I would kill to be in his position right now. It's got to feel so good to just come in hot, and he's going to come out swinging, and that's going to feel so good. So I expect great things out of him in this.
By great things, do you see him? Are you picking him to win?
I'm picking Alex FPV to win. Good pick.
All right. Well, it is time. Finals. Golden Heat. Who'll take our breath away? In the biosphere, it will be one of three. The Square Gate and the T-Mobile Tower turn. You've got Alex FPV. He was in front, but now Amari and White's there. But then heads up, he's surged. But Amari and White, as they go through the walkway, is in the lead.
That early hang on the T-Mobile turn may hurt him, but look at him clawing his way back, Greg.
Heads up and Alex, 1-2, the great friends, as they set up for the Algorand split S. They're right on top of each other. Amari starting to be a distant third. Heads up in light blue, first to make the turn around the tower.
These two wouldn't have it any other way. They would rather duke it out on the track and let the best man win than anything else. You're seeing exactly that. They're not letting up.
Lap number 2, the drop through the Allianz Vortex. Heads up in light blue, just a little bit in front of Alex in blue. The walkway again, it'll be the handrail gate. That will set up the Allianz Pentagate up to the Dragonfly gate. Alex is back in the lead, going for a 6th win in a row, and only his 2nd level win of the season.
Greg, it appears like this might be bothering him a little bit mentally.
Here's
a huge mistake.
He is out of it. That leaves Alex in blue in front. The last field gates to go. Alex, in a level where he dominated, takes the win in Biosphere.
Go, Alex.
Dang. He got it, man.
It's been a long time coming for him.
Well done, well done.
Wow.
They all crashed.
Respect,
What a
dude.
back and
Respect,
forth.
bro.
What a back and forth.
I clipped the split S on the second lap. Alex clipped the very next game.
Trash earlier?
No, they don't crash before.
And I'm with you, Gab, by the way. Their flying V thing sucks.
Yeah.
It's not a team sport. I hate it. I hate it so much.
No, that was ridiculous.
I agree.
Ridiculous. Thank you.
I don't mind.
Joining me now, our level 11 Biosphere champion, Alex FPV. Congratulations.
Thank you. You know what, Layla? We talk a lot, but I never get tired of hearing that.
It sounds good, doesn't it? It sounds great.
I just love it. I love it.
Listen, you were dominant throughout. And not only were you dominant against 2 fantastic pilots. When you first started this season, you told me that you were mostly in awe of who you were flying alongside. And today you proved yourself superior. How much is that going to change for the rest of your season?
Oh, you know, I've talked about this earned in respect and stuff, but I started out today with a whole different vibe. You know, I love watching everybody do good and stuff, but deep down I finally realized that everybody else has to lose for me to win, and it doesn't hurt, you know, watching some of the close friends be down and out. It didn't hurt near as much today, and I think that really paid off. So I'm here to compete. Everybody's throwing hands, and I'm just here to be a part of it.
You mentioned throwing hands. We've got a lot of big egos here on the pilot deck, but you're one of the more humble ones. There is elements of self-doubt throughout, but this has got to give you a big confidence boost.
Yeah, for sure. If anything, it's just proving it to me again that I'm meant to be here. You know, I've gotten close the last 2 weeks and choked, so this one was a big one mentally. I've put in more work than ever this past week, and just being able to see it show on the heat sheets and stuff, it means everything to me. So I'm eager to get back next week and try even harder than I did this week.
Level 11 champion, proving it to the most importantly himself. Congrats, Alex.
Thank you.
Well, that Golden Heat win was in a time of 118.112.
Well, Alex's confidence may have started low. He's ending on a high, and you can see at the beginning of lap 1, he started to fall a little bit behind Vanover. But when he came through this vortex, he cut it so tight to the bottom that he got so much momentum coming out of it that by the time they were through the T-Mobile tunnel, Alex took the lead and held it for the rest of the race. By getting out in front of Heads Up, he's able to hold on to that lead. He's able to create a distraction for Heads Up to the point that, while they're still battling in the race, it's still close. Heads Up makes a huge mistake and just doesn't turn. He goes through the split S gate and totally misses the line and gives Alex that opportunity to go through to the finish.
It is Alex FPV who shines the brightest here in the Biosphere. His 2nd level win of the season, beating Heads Up and Amari in the Golden Heat. Well, guys, as we wrap this all up, you both picked Alex. So I want you to each give me your biggest impression of this level. Paul, we'll start with you.
Hey, when you're feeling confident, when you're feeling good, that's when you're going to dominate, and that's what Alex did.
Look, when you've got this much work ethic behind you and that much training, it's only inevitable.
Well, the biggest thing I took from those interviews with Layla is I think we have seen a transformation in Alex FPV here at this level. And how has it changed the season standings? Look at this. Heads up now 13 points ahead of Vanover. That heads up total 73. Vanover with 60. Alex FPV's total 49. And it's Amari sitting in fourth with 37. Gab 707 and Sky round out your top 6. Well, that does it for Level 11 Biosphere. Congrats again to Alex FPV. You can watch the 2021 DRL World Championship season Wednesday nights on NBCSN and Twitter at 8 p.m. Eastern. And keep up with DRL all year long on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. For Tony Niddle, Layla Anna Lee, Paul Nurkla, and our entire crew, I'm Craig Hummer. Thanks for watching.
This is a copyrighted broadcast of Drone Racing League Incorporated and may not be transmitted, reproduced, rebroadcast, or otherwise distributed or used in any form without the express written consent of Drone Racing League Incorporated.